Okay, compost making now. Obviously every garden needs a compost bin, and here we've got three. The reason why we've got three is so that we've got one which is currently used, so all the clippings, leaves and kitchen waste, everything goes in here. And if you look in there, you'll probably see the worms doing their job. If we lift this up a little bit, do you see the worms there? They're breaking all the material down into compost. And we'll probably keep these open until it's full up, which will take, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. Once it's full, then we just leave it and then go on to the next one. By that time we'd have used all that compost up there, which is ready now, and we can start putting material in here. Now on the third one, we use that one mainly for leaves. Again, this is breaking down nicely now. That's a leaf from the autumn. I mixed a few grass clippings in there, but that's breaking down quite nicely. That should be ready to use, I would imagine, in the autumn. So when the vegetables are finished, we will use that and put a layer of 2-inch layer on top to protect the soil over the winter. Again, here there's quite a few, not as many worms, but there is some worms in there. Can you see them there? So three bins. I mean, they're quite large. They're about 4 foot by 4 foot each. This one's about the same size, 4 foot by 4 foot. We've got boards here that come out so we can get to it. As it gets full, we put more boards on there so it covers up. But it's working quite nicely. And you need compost in your garden. If you're going to go organic, you need material. You need to reuse all the plants that you've taken out, all the materials that you have, compost it and put it onto your garden. One important thing, when you're building up a composting, you've got to mix your materials up. You've got to put green stuff as well as brown stuff. If, for example, you put grass clippings in there, grass clippings, because they are dense and they will compress down to a mat, you won't get an air going in there, and therefore it's going to be all smelly and not decompose. I'll show you another example if I can find one. There, that's a bit of grass, you see, grass clippings. It's not breaking up. See that there? Because you can't get any air in there, it's too hard. So air is so important to get into your heap. But as you can see from this one, I've got clippings in there, and every so often I have a layer of clippings and then a layer of plants, a bit woody plants, even brown stuff like that. Yeah? So that therefore there's air between them, and it helps everything to break down nicely. One more thing which is a good tip. Every time I go to the to Costa's and whatever coffee, I ask them for some coffee grounds which they used up, and it just mixes in the compost excellently. It's got a lot of nitrogen in there, so it helps to break things down. So every time you go to have a coffee, ask them. They're only too pleased to get rid of it, because to them it's waste, but to the gardener it adds so much energy onto the garden. This one we've started this one last year, about 12 months ago. I put all the rubbish in there, from the kitchen, from the garden, from anywhere. You can put anything in there. Coffee grounds as well, as I said before. Okay, if you look this up close, there's not many worms in there at the moment. There is a few, but everything is broken down. So all the material there, as you can see, it's a lovely texture. Very open, it's got a lot of air into it, it's got moisture in it. One or two things that haven't really rotted down completely, but that will rot down very quickly. It's just grass cuttings. In the autumn, when we finish with the vegetables in the garden, I'm going to use this to put a 2-inch layer on top of the soil. That will protect the soil, it will put nutrients into the soil and be ready for planting in the spring next year. Well, compost to break down properly, it needs moisture and it needs air, basically to benefit the organisms that are in the soil. If they haven't got air, if you can imagine a pit bog, for example, that hasn't got air, nothing gets broken down because there's no air in there, no oxygen in there. So it's very important to have oxygen in the compost heap. We keep the gap on here, 2-inch gap, and the idea is to get air into the compost. So it's all the way around here as well. And the way I've done that, I used a piece of wood, screw it onto there, so when you're ready to put the next one in, you just push that down on this side as well, and you get the next spores on top of that, so it leaves a gap here.